welcome to another episode of the Ali Show, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Curtis Weeks,
What's up, brother?
mental performance coach. That's right.
That's right.
Anyway, how are you, Curtis?
I'm good, thank you, brother. How are you?
Not too bad. It was quite a busy day, and we have the pleasure of Curtis joining us today because he's up in Auckland for an event today, which is the King in the Ring 8-man tournament. And I understand you have some of your clients who are actually competing as well.
Yeah. Two of the boys, Shiva, Showtime. He's fighting, and so is Never Sterling. So yeah, so nice. Shiva's on the boxing. He's a super fight. Yeah. And Nav's on the 8-man.
What weight is Shiva fighting at?
63.5.
Okay, so that will be middleweight. Is that middleweight or?
I don't know. You're the boxer, bro.
Yeah, I think it should be. It should be. Oh, 63.5. You said? Yeah. Oh, that should be lightweight or super lightweight. So it depends.
Super lightweight, maybe.
Yeah. So, but sometimes different promotion or different organizations, they just choose what they want to name it. Like unless you're fighting for like a big major belt on the line, then you'd have to follow the
protocol.
That promotion's weight categories and all that. But yeah, I think it differs a little bit, but not too much. But anyway, before we get into it, Curtis actually has a little bit of a disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Please find out if you're watching this with any children, please pause it and wait till they're in bed. Because I was in the Navy and there's that saying, man, swear like a sailor, and my goodness, I have a paru mouth.
Yeah, and I have a really good mate as well who was in the army for like 30 over years, so I know what you mean. And I know the conversations that that come out is not really very clean as well.
Nah, not at all. Oh, it's funny, it's good banter, and it's
definitely
real
for adults.
Yeah, it's for adults only.
Yeah. But anyway, without getting too much into that, Curtis, for those who might not know who you are, could you give us a brief introduction about yourself, brother?
Yeah, so kia ora, my name's Curtis Weeks, born and raised on the North Shore of Auckland. I am a Kiwi. I'm a Māori of Māori descent, and Scandinavian, German, Irish. So I'm a bit of this, bit of that.
Wow, it's quite a bit of a mix there.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, like I said, I was born and raised on the North Shore of Auckland, which was amazing. My mum, her whānau's from the east coast of the North Island, like Mahia and Gizzy ways. So in a way, that's my home. That's like my tūranga waiwai is what we call it. So that's my connection back to the earth, because like we're the tangata whenua. So that's my whenua. And so yeah, I sort of sometimes identify as a coastie. But yeah, I'm a mental performance coach now. Was in the Navy for 13 years. Joined, instead of doing 7th form, I joined because, I was being a bit silly and, just a bit curious, like having fun with the wrong people. And I seen that there was a clear path. I could go to the military or the Navy and make a change in my life, become a different person, or I could just keep hanging with the crowd and go to prison, and make a change for my life. Like it was, I seen it there. So I joined the Navy at 17 instead of doing 7th form. Did 13 years.
Wow. But what are the options? Like there's the Army, the Navy,
and the Air Force.
Yeah. So there were options on the table. Why was it you decided to choose like the Navy in particular?
Well, originally, bro, like since I was younger, I wanted to join the Army because I loved G.I. Joes. Bro, like straight up, I loved the G.I. Joes, bro, and I loved the whole idea.
Every kid does.
Yeah, bro, like G.I. Joes, Action Man, all that shit, so I wanted to be in the SAS pretty much. Like, wow. I was like, yo, like this is me. From 10, someone asked my principal, he's like, what do you want to do with your life? I was like, I want to be in the SAS. And so I was like, okay, to get there, I need to join the Army, and pretty much from...
just pause you there. For those who don't know what the SAS is, it's like the Special Forces.
Yeah.
Because different countries have different names.
Yes, So they're Tier 1 Special Force, Special Operators.
Sorry, as you were saying, yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I wanted, and like pretty much my whole life until I was about 16, I was like, I'm joining the Army when I get a chance. I'm going to join the Army. I'll probably go infantry. One of my cousins, his name's Cole. Shout out to my cousin Cole Smith. A heartbreak conditioning, that's him. Yeah. So he was in 2nd first. He's 2-1 hard. So I looked up to him big time. Huge role model, work ethic, just a straight up gangster, bro. Like he taught me how to scrap as well. And so I wanted to be like him, and it wasn't until about 16, my Māori youth advisor at school, he was just like, why don't you join the Navy? Like, my dad was in the Navy. He served 20 years and all of that.
Wow.
He still works for the Navy, bro. So he's almost been with them for like 50 years, bro.
Wow.
Bro, crazy, eh? Like, but yeah,
Hey,
so I
you,
never...
don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.
But yeah, so I never really thought about it like that. And then it wasn't until my cousin, he was just like, bro, don't join the army. Like, that's all I needed was for him to say, don't join. He's like, the army is cool. Like, you'll get some good skills and all that stuff. But, you know, you'll be like sleeping in a ditch all the time and, you know, this and that. At least in the Navy, you know, you travel the world and get paid for it. So, yeah, so at 17, bro, like I was 17 and like 1 month, I joined. Yeah.
Wow, that must have been like a pretty bold move to do at that age as well. And like you kind of get shipped. The training, it was not in, where was it?
Oh, Devonport. Yeah.
Oh, it was in Devonport, Auckland first.
Yeah.
And then after that, did you go to somewhere else? Or?
So there's a spot at Whangaparo, which is just north of Auckland. And yeah, so that's where some of the training happens as well. Yeah, that's where we learn to shoot and all that stuff too. But yeah, so it was a very bold move, because I was fat. I was like a fat cunt, bro, growing up. Straight up, bro. I was like the chubby kid, bro. I got picked on heaps, bro, for being fat.
Let's put it that you love to eat.
I love eating, bro. Bro, so I joined as a chef because I love eating. I was like, fuck, man, like I only can cook nachos and noodles. So let me broaden that spectrum. Yeah, so I joined as a chef, bro, did that. Cool. And changed. So like,
did you have to have experience before that? Or so when you go in, they'll train you and you'll learn. Wow, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, bro, it was mean as. Like, it helps if you've got some catering experience. But yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, hard. And then so that was me. I joined up. But yeah, like I said, I was a fat fella and I had a victim mentality. Like, so I wrote a book.
Yes, which we will get to in a second as well. I have a few questions about the book.
Yeah. So like, it's sort of in there. Like I was in that victim mentality. So I needed something. I needed some purpose. You know, I needed to change who I was, because where I was wasn't healthy. You know, it was very toxic, and it's a dark place. So I was like, okay, if I join the Navy, no one knows who I am, and I've got a chance to be who I want to be. I got bullied heaps, you know, so there's a lot of insecurities and a lot.
When you say you got bullied, was it like mainly because of your size, or was there any other factor? Like you're different, you know, different color? Or?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it was a bit of everything. Okay, like so we were talking about beforehand. So growing up, I was a half caste. So yeah, I went to an all Māori school growing up. So Kura Kaupapa Te Raki Pai Whenua as a primary, just straight out of Kohanga, which is like a daycare for like speaking Māori. And yes, I was fully immersed in Te Ao Māori, and then I wasn't the same colour as the other Māoris. So, you know, they started picking on me for being the white boy, the chubby white boy. And then when I went mainstream, I was like the chubby black kid. You know, like it was weird, bro. It was just strange. So yeah, like I got bullied heaps.
It's always like, I feel like sometimes it's always like that. When there's a large group of similar, you have a similar traits, you always try to find somebody who doesn't fit. Yeah, man. And they'll become the victim, you know, or the receiving end.
Yeah, and they strengthen numbers. You know, they all start picking on you because you're different. And because the mainstream school I went to was quite diverse. You know, there was a lot of like almost every ethnicity was there. It was very white, you know. So that's sort of how that all started. I was chubby as well, you know. They'd like grab my tits, play with them, all that stuff. And yeah, so I got like bullied pretty much my whole life, like from like 4 till 16. It wasn't always like real in your face, like aggressive bullying. It was like real passive bullying sometimes and whatnot, you know, like
which sometimes is a bit
worse,
more,
bro.
Yeah, it's a bit more worse.
Yeah, like getting called a dirty Mary, you know, it's like, bro, like it just cuts differently. Yeah, it hurts. So yeah, like I said, you know, I had a victim mentality going into the Navy. I was like, fuck this, I'm changing who I am. No one knows me. I can be who I want to be, because I had this character in my mind. I was like this guy, you know, he stands up for himself. He stands up for others. You know, like I used to just be a bystander. You know, when people were getting bullied and whatnot, just like, oh fuck, wretched. Like I wish I could step in. So yeah, joining the Navy, bro. My first day in the Navy, I had a fight.
Oh, what are you
Straight
serious?
up, G, yeah,
Oh,
first
boy.
day, bro. Yeah.
What happened? Tell us,
Yeah,
bro.
well, I made a promise to myself that I would never like back down how I used to in the past. Like I'd never let that fear just overcome me and just shut me down, you know. So yeah, this guy was doing. He had come through. He'd done the intake before, but got backlogged, so he had to redo it because he failed a couple things. And he came in hot, bro. Here's this Hori from Rotorua, bro, like tough fella, tough Māori fella. Grew up on the farm and all that stuff, and he just came through the mess deck is what we call it. So there's like 20 of us sleeping in this one mess deck, so it's just a room. And yeah, he came through, bro, and I respect his balls, bro. He went through like individually, stepping everyone out. Yeah, he was just like, I'm the top dog here. Like, if you want to fuck with me, that's us. Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Like, went pretty much like that to everyone. Everyone's like, hey, nah, I'm all good. And I was like writing, because we had to write this letter to ourselves, so that we'd read it at the end. Yeah, and he came up to me and kicked me. Like, I was on the floor writing it, kicked my hand. He's like, what about you, fat boy? You want to fight? And I was like, shit, yeah. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, go on then. And then he was just like, oh, what? That us then? I was like, yeah. Like, so yeah, we chucked towels on, chucked towels on our hands, yeah, and then just started swinging. And yeah, like it didn't last long.
Yeah.
I think I caught him like a clean right. And then I was still fucking scared, but he just stopped. He was like, oh, yeah, fuck, you all right? And then carried on. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Like, what was
in the
that?
heat of the moment, just went for it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, well, I made the promise to myself, like to myself, and that was important to me. You know, like I made the promise to myself. So
whatever the outcome of this fight is, whoever's on the floor,
doesn't matter.
It's not gonna.
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't want to back down and let that fear. And that fear, bro, it was yuck, bro. Like it was there, and I was like, well, you're here, so let's get rid of that yucky feeling and just throw hands, bro.
Embrace it, eh?
Yeah. So, like. Once it started, it was all good. It was just that anticipation, you know. It was just yuck, just ooh, I don't know.
What do I do?
Yeah.
How do I approach this?
Yeah, so
how do I control the situation?
It was just like fuck it. I'm gonna just put my head down and do the propeller.
Yeah.
If we go swimming, bro.
Protect the jaw. Don't put the jaw up too high.
Yeah. None of that was going through my mind, bro. I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna throw these hands hard and fast.
Oh man, that's a bold, very bold game plan.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, fuck. If he knocks me out, all good.
I don't know if you heard the so last weekend was when Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. were fighting, and the post-fight interview, it was quite funny. They asked Mike Tyson what was his game plan. And or what was his thoughts about the fight or whatever, and he said, "Oh,
everybody has a plan until they get hit. Yeah. You got hit, and how did it affect you?"
I went to plan B. I hit him back.
Crack up.
Yeah,
it goes like almost against his like little philosophy. That shirt that gets printed, everyone has a game plan until they get punched in the face,
in the mouth. I think it's the mouth of the face. Yeah, but it's crazy, like looking at him now at his age, and you know, getting into the fight with Roy Jones. Like people were expecting Mike Tyson to be gassed out and to be tired, but it turned out to be the other way around.
Yeah, it's buzzy, eh?
Yeah, Roy Jones was like, I think at the end of the second, he was just struggling, man, and
the lactic acid.
It was like, you know, everybody gave a lot of like shit for that fight, and they're like, oh, you know, it's a sham, you know, they're trying to make, but everybody is watching, man.
Bro,
the numbers were insane, bro.
Respect though, you know?
Of course, like for someone like, you know, who has been out for like, okay, for Mike Tyson, it was like 15 years. For Roy Jones was like 3 years.
Yeah.
But like in their 50s to get into it and to do it, and like Mike Tyson actually did say that the money that he was going to be getting, I don't know about Roy, but the money that he was going to be getting was for charity, and like, man, it's for a good cause anyway.
Yeah,
so
hard.
Why not support the guy? Like,
man.
You know, there's if you're willing to spend your money on so many other things, why not spend money on something that's good?
100, bro.
Yeah, or even if like, and they definitely have a lot of people who watch the illegal streams and all that sort.
Oh, bro, yeah.
But at
It's
least
always gonna happen.
you're still watching.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You're still watching,
Yeah, hard.
so eyes on the show, people watching, and it was quite funny. I think one of the ones, man, I really enjoyed Israel's commentary as well.
Yeah.
It was really good, and
He's a genius,
bro,
bro.
he is.
I'm a fucking big fan, bro.
He has a very different way of thinking and doing things, and he doesn't follow the pack.
Nah, not at all. He never has.
And he goes his own way, and he does what he wants to do, which is
bro,
awesome.
100. So the first time I had ever seen Izzy fight, bro, was like in 2010 at ABA. And he was going up against one of the fellas I was training with. And till that point, the guy I was training with was the best fighter I had ever witnessed in real life with my eyes. Like his angles, his movement, his setups, everything, bro. I was like, whoa, this fella's on. Like, his name's Jerry. Jerry went in there and I was just like, yo, like, I don't care who Jerry's fighting. He's going to get slapped up. And I was amped, bro. I was like, yes, like, that's my mate, bro. That's my mate. And then Izzy came out, bro. And he, I don't know if he did like a forward flip into the ring but the way he entered the ring, I was like, wow, the confidence of the man. Well, you're going to get slapped around, like, bro. But nah, like, Izzy slapped him around, bro. Like, and just, it was so beautiful. Like, I was there supporting my mate, but like, I appreciate
a good,
like, just
a
measured,
good fight.
like,
a good performance.
Yeah, bro, like, the performance, bro. And I was straight away after watching that, I was like, wow, that guy is something special.
He's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, like straight away is like that. Like he has something.
It's a different breed.
Way different. Like he is not the same, because we've got like a lot of people in the Kiwi fight scene have a real similar style, like Kiwis like to sort of bite down, go forward. But yeah, like it was different, man. Like it was cool because like my mate, like I said, till that point was the best I had ever seen. And he made him like not fight to his game plan. And I was like, I was getting frustrated. I was like, what are you doing, bro? You move differently in the gym, but obviously it's different under the lights, bro?
That's it. Different under the lights. And I think the biggest one is when you're in there, you're trying to not only execute yours, but make sure that this other guy doesn't get to execute what he wants to. So everybody comes in with a plan. Yeah. And you've got to shake that plan. Yeah. And you've got to make sure that this guy is...
Contingencies, you need those contingencies.
That's it. And like, I think one of the ones that I recently heard was how when Lomachenko fights with some of the fellas, he will make sure that they are so busy worrying about what he's going to do that they don't get to do what they want. Yeah, and
big time.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, that last fight that he had, even with Teofimo, man, it was a bit, to me, it was a bit off. Like the scoring, the judges' scorecards were a bit insane. I felt like it was a really close fight. It could have gone either way, but like, I felt like that was, pretty. And that's the thing with American boxing judging, you know, it's like, you always want to support the home guy, which I kind of understand, but like if it's a professional sport at this level, you gotta be...
It should be neutral.
But anyway, before we drift too far into that, so yeah, and Navy, and after that scrap, and you understand you were a chef for a period of time, and then
9 years.
9 years, wow. And then you actually went to do something like...
Physical training instructor.
Wow. Yeah. How do you go from that, bro? Like from being a chef, how do you decide you want to do physical training? Well, obviously you do physical training all the time. Anyway, even as a chef.
Yeah. So, or like your first 3 months of like the basic common training is like, there's a lot of physical activity. And because I was a fat boy back then, bro, I used to try, like literally, bro, I used to try roll my ankle so I could get out. And I could never roll it. I was like, fuck, this is bullshit. And then like one day I was fit. I was like, oh, what happened here? Like in basic training, I dropped like 20 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was
big drop.
Yeah, it was mean. But then when I got into the fleet, which is like after all the training and you actually become in the Navy, I put it all back on, bro, because of all the freedom. I was like, wow, so you're saying I can go out and drink all night as long as I'm back in time for work. It doesn't matter. And like, yeah, hard. So it was like 3 months, bro, of like binge drinking and fucking...
And especially when you're traveling as well in the Navy, because I used to be in the oil and gas industry, so I travel quite a bit. And you know, a lot of sometimes when you dock at all these ports and the yards and all that, you meet a lot of boys from the Navy as well.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
And bro, these boys from the Navy, bro, they party and they party hard, bro.
Just rock, bro. We rock, brother. Fuck going to sleep.
What is sleep, bro? What do you mean? What is?
Yeah, exactly, bro. Fuck yeah. If you're eating, it's cheating, and then sleeping, bro, you'll get woken up with a beer or something.
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
crazy.
It
It's
was
pretty
like,
insane.
it was like work hard, party harder. Because we do some yards at sea. Like we work hard at sea.
And it's a different thing altogether, man. People don't know what it's like, and nobody will ever be able to experience, like, you know, unless you go and do it yourself. It's hard to imagine what it's like.
Oh yeah.
You know, being months at sea.
Oh, bro,
you know, and like there's this you all four corners of the space that you are in is just water.
Yeah, like a lockdown. Everyone's experienced lockdown.
Bro,
Some cunts went crazy.
lockdown is a bloody holiday, man.
bro,
You know what I
it's
mean?
hard. Like you can still go to like for a walk.
When you're at sea, bro,
That's it, bro.
it's a whole different game altogether. You know, like you can't go anywhere.
Nah,
you know,
so I spent a total of 5 years, bro, at sea. So
Wow.
a total throughout my whole 13 years, 5 years of it was in the middle of the ocean.
and doing the physical training.
Yeah, I was a chef
Yeah.
for a good chunk of it. I spent heaps of time at sea as a chef, and then like 1 year, or less than a year, but there was like a couple years ago, I did my stint at sea as a PDI, and that was cool, bro.
So when you got into that, like, did you struggle, like when you gain all that weight and then wanting to go into do that? How did you push yourself to?
To lose weight again. So it was actually one of my good mates, like where I was having a smoke or a durry, and he was like looking at me, and he's a good mate of mine, and he'd been getting into training because we're in Tonga at that time, and he's like, "Fuck, you're a fat cunt, eh, bro?" And I was like, "Fuck you," but like, you know, that was it. That was it. Like for him to say that,
That triggered.
yeah, bro. I was like, "Fuck, I am." Like I am a fat cunt. So yeah, one of the bosses, he was doing it like 3 times a day, PT. So I got into it then, and we had our own little fight club on ship.
Ooh.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so
The
we're
underground
just,
fight club.
Wow, like there's nothing else
Yeah.
to do at sea, bro.
Obviously.
Except train, yeah. And then there's some like internal beefs that happen, bro. So the best way to solve it is to chuck some gloves on, bro.
That's
and
it.
just go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was good. When we would fight, he'd just say no headshots. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's the fun one, bro. The headshots.
Yeah, bro. And headshots would get popped off, bro. Yeah. Oh, my bad. I was uppercutting his sternum.
Yeah, it slipped.
yeah, bro. Oh, I slipped and punched him in the mouth.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. Not sorry. But yeah, and then so that's sort of how I started the journey and losing weight again, and then I because I was quite I had gone too far past, like, so instead of being a victim, I was too far into that, like, I don't know, just trying to be a tough cunt. Like that was it, bro. I was trying to be a tough cunt, and I'm not, like, at heart, I'm not at all, but I put on that mask, I guess. And then yeah, bro, so I got into combat sport because I was ruining it for everyone. Every time we'd go out drinking, I was fighting. Every time I'd play rugby, I was fighting. Like any chance I had to punch on, bro, I was in there. And then my best mate pulled me aside. He's like, "Bro, we don't like drinking with you. You're an idiot. Like, you fight too much." And I was like, "What? Like, I thought you enjoyed that." And they're like, "Nah, you kill our buzz." So yeah, I was just like, "Fuck, if I like it so much, I should do it as a sport." And then so yeah, I got into kickboxing.
Hey, you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. You decided to like compete or do it as a sport.
Yeah. So there was this NZ boxer was in Glenfield down Hillside Road.
Yeah.
And I heard that there was like a fight gym behind it. So I rolled up one night, and it was like a fighters only class. And there was this Tongan fella, Eddie Tongalahi, and he was the head trainer there. Him and Brent Sapel, they were like the coaches there. And I walked in, and I was just like, "Hey, can I jump in?" And he's just like, nah, it's for fighters only. And I was like, "Nah, straight up I can fight." And bro, that was me. I was like, "Nah, straight up I can fight." And he was like, "What?
The street fights count?
Straight up, bro. That was me. Nah, I've had heaps of street fights, bro. I can fight." You know, like cringe ass, bro. Ooh, cringe. Like thinking about it. But And then he was
It's
like,
experience,
bro,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah, bro.
experience, bro.
He
you
like
know?
looked at me. He was just like, no, like we get these cunts all the time coming through. Like, no, you're not jumping in. I was like, can I just jump in the class, please? Like, I'm a fast learner. I can learn fast. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. Jump in. And I was like, what do I do? And he's like, learn fast. And then he just started calling out numbers, bro. And I was like, what the fuck are these numbers? But because like there were mirrors there, so I was just watching someone. I was like, oh, okay, 1 is a jab. Okay, 2 is a cross. Okay, I think I got the hang of it. So I was like just fucking in the
Picking it
deep
up,
end, bro,
yeah.
just like learning fast.
Picking it up as you go.
Yeah. And I loved it, bro. It was like I was gassed, man. I couldn't kick for shit. My punches were rubbish. I thought I could punch, bro, but they were trash.
And you always thought that in the back of mind, you know,
Yeah.
nah, I'm the man, I'm the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. It was like fucking straight up cockiness, really, bro. Like fuck, bro, you should see the
Well,
cunts I've knocked out. You know?
That's pretty good. Like the confidence is there, at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, and
It helps.
I had the grit. I guess I had the grit. Yeah, and then straight after that class, I was like, oh man, thank you very much. Can I fight? Right, and he started laughing. He's like, what the fuck? You can't even punch. Why do you want to fight? I was like, I want to fight. Just let me fight. When can I fight? He's like, no, you're not fighting. I was like, oh, okay. And then he's just like, just keep coming back then. And I was like, okay. Showed up tomorrow, like the next night, finished training. I was like, yo, can I fight? And he's like, fuck off, cunt. Like, no, you can't. You can't punch. And I kept bugging him, bro, for like a couple months. Can I fight? Can I fight? Can I fight? And then I just stopped. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm getting sick of asking him. And then, yeah, the moment I stopped, he was like, you want to fight? I was like, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
man,
I
this
do.
is the mental games that he's playing.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
Wow.
And then, yeah, so he's like, sweet, I got you a fight 2 weeks' time. And I was like, yo, let's go.
Was that an amateur fight?
I was
or
a
when-
novice. Yeah,
Okay,
novice. Yeah,
okay,
so I had a
so
few novice fights. And then,
like the sort of like corporate. Was it?
I guess, well,
Something.
in a way, it's just
Yeah.
like experience.
Yeah.
You know, like to feel what it's like. Just the mats. So we fought in Rotorua Liga, I think it was. It was upstairs, up this like fucking dingy ass spot, bro. Like no windows, just some mats in the corner and a crowd.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. And leading up to that fight, because I was like, yes, I'm fighting. And then day of the fight, I was like, I don't think I want to fight anymore. Like, hey, bro, like just the nerves hit
On
me,
the
bro.
day,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
just like, shit, like, what do I do? And then one of Brett, he got in my head. And he was just like, bro, what you need to do is just focus on training. Like, focus on when you pulled up to training, when you put on your shoelaces, go for your run, do your skipping, shadow boxing on the pads. Just focus on that. And I was like, okay. And then, you know, so that calmed me down and it gave me something to think about rather than thinking about everything else. And then Tori Nansen, she was there. And then she was just like, just smile, baby. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then, yeah, so like I walked out and then I seen my opponent and fuck, he was like way bigger, like thicker, moldy fella from the Hawke's Bay, bro, bald head, covered in tattoos, bro. And like I was just a kid, bro. I was like 19 maybe. Yeah, I was 19. And so I just remember what Tori said. I was like, okay, just smile. So I smiled at him, bro, and he smiled back, no teeth. I was like, fuck, this cunt's got no teeth, bro. Like, bro, just the ultimate psychological
This is
thing,
the insurance
bro.
policy. He took his teeth out.
You got your mouth guard on. You got your teeth out. Like, you know, fucking.
There's no teeth to knock
No,
out now.
but yeah, bro, that's what one of the boys said. I was like, gee, he's got no teeth. And he's like, oh, bro, safe as. You don't need to worry about knocking them out. And then, yeah. But yeah, that was cool. That was a cool experience. That was my first one. And then Brett told me he told me before the fight, he's like, just know that fighting's not for everyone. So just go in there, have fun, do your thing. If you don't like it, that's okay, because fighting's not for everyone. But I got the bug, like had the fight, bro, and I was like, whoa, I want to do it again.
It's like a lot of adrenaline, especially, you know, you feel that some people they won't want to do it again.
Yeah.
But some people, they chase
Yeah.
that adrenaline.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've become like a hard out adrenaline junkie after that, bro. I was sort of beforehand anyway, you know. And then so I had a few more like novice fights and then an amateur fight. My amateur fight, bro, like it was against Blood. Like we popped each other's cherry.
Wow.
Yeah. I was his first. He was my first. And yeah,
Was
man.
that kickboxing?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Hard, bro. And talking to him about it as well, bro. Like he said he was like scared in a way because of like a fight, like there was another novice show at a rugby club, and I had fought two fellas like in a row. So one of my mates got injured, so I was like, "Yo, I'll fight again," you know. And then my coach, my coach was like, "Are you sure? Like, be careful what you wish for." I was like, "Oh, bro, like fucking born to fight.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah. So he reckons he was intimidated by that. And I was fucking shit scared, bro. Like, so going in there, I was confident. Like, I was like, oh, yo, like, I have faith in myself and this and that. But when he walked out, bro, like, he walked out to the One Blood song, bro. Like, that was his song back then, bro. I was like, yo, that's mean. But he had, like, Izzy and this. Bro, he had, like, a big entourage, bro. And they were walking up, getting hype as fuck, bro. Like, they were like, whoa, let's go, whoa. Like, jumping up, bro. There was this big fella, I can't remember his name. But he was big, like, African-looking guy. Massive dude, bro. He was in the heavyweight. He was on the scene back then as well, bro. And he was jumping, bro, getting hype. And I fucking dropped nuts, bro. I was like, oh, what am I up to?
Yeah,
Like,
what did I get myself into?
Bro. And then when I got, like, the whole vibe shifted, bro, and I just got scared. And, like, I walked out.
Just
and
the pressure just added up,
bro,
multiplied.
Yeah, yeah, man. I was just, the fear was just, it had engulfed me, bro. And I remember being in the ring, bro, looking at it, and it was huge. And I was like, what the fuck am I up to? Like, whoa. And then blood kicked me, bro, in the midriff, bro, real hard in the first. And it fucking kicked my soul out of my body. Just boom. And I couldn't breathe, bro. And I was thinking of ways to get out of there. But at the same, I had this internal battle going on. Like, I made a promise to myself never to let that fear do that.
Overtake you.
And it was doing it, like, in front of people. You know, like, it was at some Chinese, it was like the Golden Star Chinese restaurant sort of thing. Yeah, it was cool, bro. It was a cool scene, But yeah, like, man, that fear, bro.
That's insane.
That fear got me good.
Wow.
Like,
And so, like, you did kickboxing for a while, and you did jiu-jitsu. I understand you do jiu-jitsu as well and all that. So you picked up a few different ones.
Yeah.
And you actually went on to compete MMA
Yep,
professionally?
Yeah. Nah, not professional. I've only
But
had
like-
one. It was a novice fight, pretty much. But like, shin pads. But I've fought MMA.
MMA, yeah.
Yeah. I had a dream. Like, I had a dream. You know, like,
At least you tried and you went for it, bro.
Well, that was it, bro. So when I had that MMA fight, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna make a run for it. So at that time, I was I only had one kid. So the missus and kids, like, my time with them was sacrificed training. So I'd get up at 3 a.m., go train, then I'd get home just before 7 and help with the morning routine, go to work, finish work, get home about 4-ish and go straight to training. Wouldn't get back till like 10 p.m. And then I was training out of Oliver MMA then. And yeah, it was good. Like, it was mean. That was what I wanted. Like, this is the commitment. You know, Monday through to Friday, that was the routine. And then Saturday, it was mainly the morning. I'd be at the gym right into the afternoon. And then it was just like a little bit of Saturday afternoon, and Sunday was family time. And it wasn't a good balance, Like, it wasn't.
It's hard. The life as a fighter, I mean, and obviously you have full-time work, fighting, and family. And, you know, it's not as easy as people think it is.
Oh, bro, no, and I fully understand the struggle. You know, like, I went to Thailand as well, like, in 2012, just by myself, bro. just
to train,
just to train
learn
for a
Muay
month,
Thai
bro.
and train over there.
Yeah, bro, just upskill. That was the plan. So I wanted to be a world champion.
The best place to go to learn Muay Thai is to go to Thailand.
Yeah. So I went to Sinbi Muay Thai, stayed at the gym, and my room was right next to the right next to the ring. So so like, when I wasn't training, I was just in bed, bro, with my window open, like, just
and watching people train.
Yeah, bro, yeah. And then, like, sometimes they'll be like, bro, what are you up to? You come out. I was like, oh, yo, sweet. Like, shut my window, get my gears on, go out, have a train.
Always ready.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's the definition of being ready.
Yeah.
24/7.
Well, I went there to upskill and just fly the flag for New Zealand, bro. Like, I was there flying the flag for New Zealand, big time.
Respect, man.
Yeah, bro. And I needed, because I'd seen Kiwis over there before, like, and they didn't. Well, in my opinion, some of them didn't fly the flag properly. You know, like, they gave up. That's just my opinion. Like, from watching them and whatnot. Like, you know, like, the pad rounds that they do over there is brutal. You know, like, and you see them give up. But I was like, nah, I'm going there to represent our country and show them, you know, like, we bang back in Aotearoa. And then, so So yeah, I flew it with pride, bro. Had a couple fights. Even had like a few fights at the gym as well, where they sized us up. Like you'll fight, and then like I chuck like 8-ounce gloves on us, bro. And then I'll fight.
Well, the frequency of fights over there is insane.
Oh, bro, hard.
That was one of the things I was like impressed about. Like they have fights every other day.
Yeah, bro. Every day. There's fights there every day.
I was like, yo, that's like pretty full on. And you'd be thinking that people might not always turn up. But you have massive turnouts as well. Like even at the daily fights. I was like, not even like on, just on a weekday.
Just a random fight night.
And there's suddenly like a big crowd.
It's tourists, bro. Tourists. There's heaps of tourists over there, and they all love drinking piss and watching violence.
Violence, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's a combo over there.
Yeah, bro. Hard. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. That was a cool experience. And then I caught Campylobacter just before I flew back, so I was fucking in the hurt locker, and I had a fight like 3 days after I landed. So yeah, man, like I was like pissing out of my ass, bro, that night of my fight. And then, like I didn't go my way. I got knocked out in the first. Clean. Like the rope saved me though. Yeah, the rope saved me, and
instead
I,
of like falling straight.
Yeah. So like I like came to, and I was like on the in the corner, and I was like, oh, and the ref was like Rebel Conway, and he was just like 6, 7, and I was like, hang on, bro, what? Like you're supposed to start at 1, brother. Like, what's going on here?
You went straight to 6.
Bro, like, well, that's like he started.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah,
you forgot. You lose a few seconds.
Yeah, bro. I lost 6 seconds.
It's kind of bit.
Yeah, bro, hard. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? And then I heard one of the boys, put your hands up and fucking fight. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Did I just get knocked out? And Rebel was like, you want to fight? I was like, yeah, fucking oats I do. And then so like came back in the second and third, but didn't do enough to win. But yeah, like after that fight, I was like, yeah, like I'll go professional after this, and like make a proper, like I was gonna go to China, like you know how all the boys went to China and stuff. I was
to do the whole rig that they have over there.
Yeah, bro.
The circuit.
I was looking into that, and I was gonna pretty much leave the Navy and do that, and then I got sent to sea. Like I got so
before you have any funny ideas, we're gonna send you away for a few months and you have a think about it.
Bro, yeah. So that was me. I was gone for 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that sort of was my fighting career. Anytime I sort of had a good fight, I'll go away for 6 months. Yeah, and then come back, and it was hard to get that momentum back. I still got it back, and then I'll get sent away.
It's different when you're training out at sea. Like it's just not the
same,
same.
bro.
The quality, the quality of the training, quality of the partners, the coaches, like it's not there. Like
they looked at me funny, bro, when I'd be there, like just kicking a bag for hours. They're like, bro, settle down, bro. Like, why are you so angry? It's like, bro, I'm not.
They don't like. That's one thing Well, most of my experience is like when you work out and train, like most of the rigs or the ships or the drill ships and all that, like
just weights and
they
stuff.
have weights and a bit of you have the odd treadmill here and there. There's not a lot, and it's hard to like, especially. I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot of people who use those stuff.
Nah.
Usually me and another 1 or 2 guys. And like. Yeah, it's hard. Like out there, it's just not the same.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a struggle.
100%. Like there, you can still train. So I got fit heaps when I was at sea. I got like
because that's all you had to do.
That's it, bro. Like I'd show up to work, and then when I finished work, there was nothing else to do except clean, and then nothing. So it was like train. So before I go to work, train. When I get a break, train. Like when I finish work, train. Go to sleep, watch some movies, watch some series.
That is the life at sea.
It is, bro. That's it. Like that's it.
So when so another question I want to ask is like, when did you realize, or how was it that, the whole change came about that you wanted to get out and get into what it is you're doing now? Being a mindset performance coach. Like that's quite a big jump.
It's a huge jump, but looking through my eyes, bro, it was just increments, bro, small increments, and then it was not a jump, it was just a step. Like it just made sense. So as I became a physical training instructor, I did like a 3-4 month course, and one of the phases was a bush phase. So they take you into the bush, they teach you how to survive in the bush, how to take groups through the bush and whatnot. And so like day 1 was all good. It was quite humid and raining a little bit. We slept outside and all that stuff because it's survival phase pretty much. But then they told us the next day, they're like, okay, we're going to be trekking through some snow because there are some mountains there and they had snow on it. So I need you to get ready. So get your wet weathers ready and all that stuff. So I asked the question, I was like, will we have time at the bottom of the mountain to put our stuff on? And they're like, yeah, of course. I was like, sweet. Like, so everyone chucked on their wet weathers and everything before we even departed. And it was like a 2-hour hike to get to like the bottom of the mountain. So I was like, look at all these dumb cunts, like fucking sweating away in their wet weathers. Like, it's not even that bad. I had like a hunting jacket on, and then maybe like it wasn't it was a wet weather jacket, but it wasn't like the best one. But I had just my normal pants, so like cotton pants, sort of. And I was like, fuck, these fellas are dumb, man. Like, we've got time to get changed at the foot of the mountain. All good. Got to the foot of the mountain. Being in the military, bro, fuck timings and just pressure, yelling. We didn't have time to get changed. So I turned into the dumb cunt, bro. Like, so yeah, we
tables have turned.
Yeah, well, like, so I was just like, oh, sweet as, nah, it's all good. Like, you see the mountain, and it just disappeared into the clouds, and like thick grey clouds, dark grey clouds. I was like, oh, we'll be sweet. So the snow started off at ankle height, got to like knee height, and then at some bits it was like hip height, and then it started raining, and then it started getting windy. And then the winds were blowing like over 30 Ks, 50 K winds, like, and it was like minus 13 degrees, bro. Wow. And it was shit. And I was in charge. Like, I was in charge of everyone. So I was like, fuck, how long until we get to this hut? Like, my goodness. But legit, what got me through that was making sure everyone else was sweet. Because no one was like, it was shit. Like, I had a balaclava on. But the wind was coming straight at us. The rain was coming into us. So like, it covered my mouth, and so it felt like I was being like waterboarded. So like, it was like I was drowning. So I had to like pull my face mask down. I was like, oh, that sucks too. Like, it was just like needles and but that was all mental, bro. Like, that was all upstairs that got me through that. Like straight up, like hand on heart, God, bro. Like, it was my mindset that got me to stand up as a leader and lead my team to the hut. Because yeah, it was a big hike, and everyone fucking hated it. But like, every sort of minute, every 30 seconds, I was like, yo, you all good? Yeah, bro, what about you fellas up front? You's all good?
Check up on everybody else.
Yeah, I had to stay busy, bro. And like, fuck, when we finally got to the hut, the head instructor fucked with us. He was just like, yeah, sweet. So if I give you some time to set up a tent outside, will you think you'll survive? And I was standing there, bro, like shivering. I was like, yes, staff. And everyone was like, you're all fucked, cunt. Like, no.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, I'm just fucking with you. Like, get inside. And then I had a hypothermic. I got into like a hypothermic state, bro. I was sort of out to it, and yeah, everyone's like, bro, where are your wet weathers? I was like, I fucked up. Like, I fucked up bad. And they're like, what? You did that whole thing? I was like, bro. And then so they're all trying to help me, like, take my boots off and stuff. I was like, nah, leave them. Like, I need to do it, like, for my mental. Like, I needed to
overcome this.
Yeah, I needed to face it, bro. Yeah, and it was just like trying to undo my shoelaces, but I was like, fuck, and like everyone was trying to help. I was like, no, like I need to do this. And then yeah, so I did it, and then that was a big shift. That moment is like the most pivotal moment in my life, because that's when I noticed how important your mindset is. Like, my mind got me through that right there. And it was funny. So we had like a professional, like a tour guide with us, and when he like took off, and we were like, bro, where's Ash gone? And they're like, fuck knows. I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then yeah, so he took off, bro, because he was just like
way ahead,
bro. He fucking boosted it, bro. Like, he was gone, and we were just like, whoa, where's he gone? So like, we're closer to that. We didn't know because it was thick as fuck, bro. You couldn't see 10 meters away. We were just on a sort of like, fuck, I don't even know if we were following a track, bro. We were just in a direction.
Shit.
Yeah, bro, yeah. And then when we got to the hut, he was there already, and like, he had down dressed, and you know, he's having a hot drink and shit. Bro, and he was like, 10 more minutes out there, we could have died. Like, he was mad. He was mad that we had done that, really, because it got to a point where he's like, we should turn around, but it wasn't safe. Yeah. So we had to punch through. Like, yeah, so it's better to get. Yeah, well, we had to, bro. You know, like, it was the safest option was to go forward. And yeah, there were some fucking hairy moments, bro. Like, a couple of the boys fell because, like, on the snow, you know, like the snow's there, you step on it.
It's not really compacted.
Bro,
properly.
like, yeah, one of the boys fell, and we thought he was going to fall into like a cave, bro. But like, he ended up like up to his armpit.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it was dangerous, bro. It was like life, like.
Bro, it's really scary as well. When you experience things like this and you think about people who go up and climb Everest.
Oh, bro, hard.
And bro, like, you know, you guys have had some form of physical training and
Yeah.
experience in a few different things. And there are people now who try to climb Everest with zero experience, zero physical, work, nothing. And that's why so many people are dying.
Yeah, man.
That's
Not
crazy.
safe, bro. It's not
It is.
safe.
It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's wild. So that was that moment
Yes.
that actually kind of switched you on to, I want to do something relating to this.
Yeah, that moment made me appreciate it. So I had done work with Dave Neath before that, and he had helped me. So I could understand about the mindset.
Just to share a little bit, how did you get into that meeting with David?
Yeah. So he did a speech for the Navy, and I was sitting there, bro, in the crowd, and he was saying how important like mental performance is, this and that, and he started talking about like people he had worked with, and so this was about 2015, and he mentioned Izzy's name, and like so back then like the casuals didn't know who he was, but because I had seen him in 2010, I was like, bro, fuck, Izzy's the man. Like I was like telling the fellas, I was like, bro, that fella's a mean fighter, straight up. And they're like, oh, cool. You know, like...
Because they didn't know
they didn't know then. Like,
the extent of how good this guy actually is.
Yeah, now they're all over his nuts, you know, like straight up, bro. But yeah, so like after that, I was like, I need to have a talk to this guy. And then, so I spoke to Dave afterwards, told him like, at that time I was fighting. So I was just like, bro. And then he's like, yeah, here's my number. So we had a conversation and he helped he said a few keywords pretty much that got my mindset on track to help with fighting. But life happens, you know. So like I'm not a fighter anymore. Never really was. I'd say I was more of a journeyman, to be honest. Just needed to do it to fulfill something inside.
Feel that space.
Yeah, bro. You know, like that little child that was bullied. You know, I needed to make him proud. You know, like stand up, brother. You know, like you got this. Yeah. So
you know that at the back of your mind as well. You know that you can do it.
Yes, bro.
And it actually does a lot for you as a person as well. Like.
Yeah. 100, bro, straight up. Yeah, so towards the end of 2019 is when I made the decision. So I was just like, okay, I'm over this physical training stuff because I have a very solid appreciation of the mental game. And to be honest, bro, I was getting bored with the physical stuff. Like I was a physical training instructor. I was at a position of management. Like I was doing up all these different training plans and stuff for the soldiers, you know, like, bro, I become like the head of the unarmed combat system for the army. Wow. And I was in the Navy, you know, like, but because I was inferior of rank, they told me to, you know, just, they didn't care, you know, like you're not the appropriate rank. So cut that out. So that added to it. And then I was just like, okay, I'm going to become a psychologist or a mental skills or mental performance coach. So I did a little research and it was like 7 years, full-time study, about 120K. Yeah, but I've got a wife and kids, brother. I've got a mortgage.
120,000 in debt, bro. Like you're looking at the end of that payment.
Yeah, man. I've already got like a big debt because of my house, you know, like fucking. So I was like, okay, I don't have that time and energy and I don't have that money. So I was just like, how do I become a mental performance coach or mental skills? Looked up, seen certain qualifications. You needed some sort of psychological qualification. I was like, hey, fuck, I know a guy. So I reached out to Dave. I was like, hey, brother, how did you become a mental performance coach? Like, what did you do? And then he sent me the link to, like, I guess their university.
He gave you the blueprints.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so he gave me the blueprint.
Pathways.
He gave me the blueprint for how to do it as a Kiwi. Because, like, the university, it's run out of America and Australia, you know, and they're different to us, you know. Like
hey, you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.
The number of people who are in the field, like abroad, it's actually also like way bigger than over here. I mean, obviously New Zealand doesn't have a lot of people, but you know, just the community and like the knowledge as well. I feel like, you know, there's a bit of a difference there. What do you think?
Yeah, bro, 100%. Like, so in November 2019 is when I started my studying. for neuro-linguistic programming. So that's what Dave put me onto. And that was like way less, still a lot of money up front. So I think I would have paid maybe like 30K or something, you know, like still, you know, like I had to sell my truck. I had to like remortgage the house and, you know, just go all in. But because I had made the decision that I won't fight again, but I love the fight community and I love the fight world. I love New Zealand, and I think we are the best at combat sport in the world. We need to improve our wrestling and grappling a little bit, and we'll be the best in the world. So I made the decision right there and then last year, November-ish, that I want to learn these skills and help fighters, you know, because I understand how they think.
Having been walked in those shoes.
Yeah, like I understand the emotions. I understand like the cocktail of emotions, the highest of the highs, the lowest. Like I never got any championships or anything, but like winning, you know, like that's the biggest high. And then losing, when you lose, like when the opponent doesn't beat you, when you lose, like, you know, like you gave up, that's the lowest of the lows. You know, you're like, I could have done better. So I wanted to learn some skills to help them, but not only fighters, like fight, that's my baby, you know, like I love the fight community and I just love New Zealand, but like any athletes, any Kiwis really, bro, that need a mental edge, you know, like I wanted to learn those skills so I could help them, you know, and I'm truly passionate about it, bro. Like mental performance, man, is like I love it. So yes. That's
and you can kind of tell, you know, when you talk to somebody and the vibe you get off them, and you know what I get off of you and how you talk about it and how you explain about it, like you're really passionate about this thing, man. You know, which is awesome. And so you went on to do your studies and all of that, and you learned like a lot of things here and there. And so you've set up your own coaching. It's called 5-0 coaching. Is that
That's
correct?
The one, brother.
I want to ask, how did that name come about?
Yeah, man.
5-0 coaching.
Yeah, bro.
That was
no,
what
for sure.
intrigued me.
Yeah. So I looked at it in a branding point. So branding is everything, and I wanted something that would be timeless. So no matter like whether it's like next year, 20 years, whatever, like 5-0 coaching is still quite similar, but like, you know, so numbers. I'm a big thing of numbers, bro. Like numbers, I see them. You know, like. Yeah, so 5-0, I'm based in the Hutt Valley. 5-0 is the start of the postcode. So that's the first one. But it wasn't the first one that made me think of it. I created these pillars, things that were already sort of established, but I just grabbed them and established these 5 pillars. So when you apply the 5 pillars to your life or to craft, there'll be 0 regrets. 5-0 coaching. And then everything I do now in regards to coaching, there's 5. You know, like the number 5 is huge. 5 represents change. You know, like there's a lot. You know, once you start seeing more 5s, it means life will start looking a little bit differently. 5-0, you know, looks differently. The number 50, powerful.
Wow, so that's actually a lot of like meaning, and
there's levels to it, brother.
That's the one.
Straight up.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really cool, bro. You know, having that story behind the name, just even the name.
Yeah.
It's cool, you know.
Yeah,
like,
bro, hard.
One thing that sometimes like people just come up with a name, but there's like no.
That's
real
what I mean, like
story behind it. There's no connection. Like,
yeah. So I had these 5 things, and I was just like, okay, so like branding now. Branding, what do I do? And then I reached out to my mate. I think it's Alpha Boy Design. Reached out to him. He did me up a thing, and it's like, so the label is just a 5 and a Z. You know, so that's
cool.
It's sort of like a New York, the Yankees. You know, it's timeless, bro.
That thing has been like on for ages.
Since the 30s, bro. Like, so that's how I was approaching it, like 5-0 coaching. But it's not that. So it's not just that. That's just one aspect of it. So the company is called 5-0 Limited, and then under that is 5-0 coaching. And I've got big plans, brother. Yeah.
That's the one. So how has it been so far, this journey that you've been on? And I understand during this journey, which is something really coal as well, you actually decided to write a book.
I did, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about the book, man.
Yeah, man. So during the first lockdown of COVID, I was looking at it. I was like, well, we've got 6 weeks up to fuck all. And I was like, babe, I'm going to write a book.
Wow.
And then she was just like, okay, you do
That's
whatever
not
you
a
gotta do.
normal thought, you know,
Nah.
like not something people just like, yo, I want to write a book.
Yeah, hard. So the book's called From Why Me to Try Me. And yeah, like, there it is. Nah, like
Over there.
yeah, I was meaning to bring the hard copy in so I could
Yeah.
show it. But yeah, so it's a story of my life. So it's my story, and I'm just using it as a vessel to get the message across. Going from a victim mentality, from why me, to becoming a leader. You know, you don't need to be a leader of teams or, you know, whatever systems or whatever. Just lead yourself at first, you know, so to try me. Because I noticed in my life it was all about that, you know, like I was like, I'm a victim here, like, oh, why me? Why is the world so hard? Why are these people picking on me? Why? You just why me? And then there are moments where I was like, nah, fucking try me, cunt. You know, like it's a mental shift. It's a mental shift. So yeah.
I wanna ask like what are like, man, it's obviously not easy to write a book.
Yeah,
You know, like it's one thing to tell a story like verbally, but like to write a book as well.
Yeah.
And to put all those, like you have all these experiences and thoughts and ideas that you're trying to put and trying to arrange it in the in that form.
Yes.
Man, like you must have had like some challenges, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
What-
Writing the book.
Yeah.
Nah, man, like
Really?
it just flowed. It just
Wow.
came out. It was just my story, bro. Because I was just growing up. I was like, "Fuck, man! Like I live a busy life. Like this would be a cool story." And then yeah, I was just like, it just read it from my birth till that time, I guess, till the time I left the Navy. So it just flowed out. And yeah, the way I wrote it was just like, okay, this is where I chose why me. This is where I chose try me. And then there's sections in the book where it's in bold. There's sentences in bold, and those are tools. So I wrote it to give people the tools to apply it to their life. You know, like, because it's very relatable on so many different levels. Like so many randoms have messaged me. They're like, bro, like I could relate to this part of your story. I've been there, or like I am there at the moment. Thank you. You know, I've had a few of those messages, bro, and that's why I wrote the book, to help them. You know, like it's just, here, read my story, please read it and take note, and like don't worry about my story, just get the message.
Figure out how is it that you can use this
Yes, bro.
teachings and lessons. And
Yeah.
so like you know, it's always good to sometimes it's good to experience it yourself, but there are some things that you don't have to experience if you don't need to.
If
know?
you can
Learn
learn from
from it.
someone, like okay, well, just before I'm like almost at this point, so I don't do this. Hey, like pretty much like don't do this, and we
How
should
to
be
navigate
Yes, bro.
yourself.
Yeah. So it's like it's helping others navigate it.
So where do people get your book, or how can they get you? Can you?
Yeah, Kindle.
Yeah.
Kindle. It's on any online bookstore, so iBooks, whatever. Yeah, it's there. I'm still on the fence. So I messaged about 42 different like bookstores.
Wow,
Yeah, and
okay.
only 2 got back to me, bro, and their
Bro.
answer was no. So it's all good. Like,
Bro, and you know that's the thing. Like, you're obviously not gonna give up.
yeah,
And bro, this is crazy, but out of 100 people, there's gonna be bound to be one person, or whatever the number might be. Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be someone who's gonna come back like, okay, let's get your book in.
yeah, bro. Yeah.
You
So
know?
I'm still living life. You
That's
know, like it's online now, so people are buying.
But
it.
I think this day and age, maybe people usually get more stuff online.
Yeah, bro.
Compared to like the physical
Yeah.
book itself. Like everybody, you use your phone like every day. It's
Yeah.
with you, and you know, it's so hard to be caught without your phone.
Yeah, man.
Put it that way, you
Yeah,
know. So,
hard.
I mean, the best tools is right now is like it's online.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
you can just download the
100%.
book, buy the book, download the book. So obviously you got to buy, like when you use iBooks and all that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Kindle, you got to buy the book itself. But
Yeah.
once you pay that one-time price, that book is yours.
It's yours, yeah.
You know,
and I'll be working on getting an audio book because that's been the biggest request.
Yes.
But it's the admin around it, you know, like I have to find somewhere to record the audio, and then I have to find the time to actually.
Yeah, I think that one it needs to be a bit more controlled. It needs to be a controlled environment. You
like
have
a
to,
studio.
yeah, like a full. It doesn't have to be like, I think it doesn't have to be like a full on studio. Like you could even do it at I've heard of people who do it like in their homes.
Yeah, yeah.
But they just gotta have a setup, and you gotta have soundproofing,
bro. So get
and
some egg cartons on the wall and
the,
shit,
you know,
bro.
the microphone, like proper
Yeah,
tuning,
yeah.
you know, all that sort of stuff. But it can be done, you know.
Yeah, it will
just
be
gotta
done, bro.
yeah,
Like, it
definitely.
will be
you know.
done.
Yeah, you were. I mean, off camera, you were telling me about that, and like you were saying that you're working towards getting that. So I mean, that's something I'm looking forward to as well. Because man, like it's very hard for me, like to pick out a book and read a book. It's
I feel you.
in this day and age, especially when we're all moving so fast, and you know, we absorb everything usually by audio, you know, or video, you know.
Yeah.
It's just easy. I think, like, for me, I feel like it's easier to relate. Like I find it easier to listen to audiobooks or watch podcasts,
Yes, bro.
or compared to like picking out a book itself and like reading. It's difficult, like for me. I don't know.
No,
most of the
I'm
people,
similar, bro. Like, I can't read a book unless I'm like engaged. Like, if there's something that I enjoy about the book, I'm like, okay, I'm reading. But most books nowadays, bro, like I'm reading heaps of like business and growth books, but it's an audio book, bro. Like I just chuck it on, head off to training, or like go for a walk, or do the housework, you know, like just listening, upskilling while I'm doing some work, you know, multitasking.
Yeah, that's it. And like you're multitasking, you know, and you're not
Just
you know,
sitting there.
yeah, that's it. And you're doing something else as well. And I think the other one is possibly like you might not register 100% of everything you hear, but you retain a certain percentage
Yeah.
of it.
Yes,
And I mean, like if you at least can retain something, you know, it's good.
it's a
And
win.
if you, well, sometimes I actually do listen to certain podcasts like twice.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, bro. Yeah,
if
yeah.
I enjoy it, I listen to it
Do it
again.
Yeah, man.
You know,
yeah,
and
100%, bro.
it just sometimes I feel like it's reminders.
Yeah.
You know, and like when some people who get on, like for example, Joe Rogan, and you know they have really good messages and stuff like that. Or one of the ones that just recently I actually listened to 3 times was yeah,
Let's go.
bro. But it wasn't a very long one, and I usually put the speed up to like 1.2 or something
Right,
like that.
yeah.
Because you know you can
Little
speed
bit
things up.
faster.
Yeah, I can speed it up a little bit. But I was listening to this guy, Pat McPhee.
Yeah.
Probably know who Pat is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
Pat's.
of.
Yeah, and he was telling about his story. He was on a podcast. I think he was on the Life Livers Academy. Might be the correct name for it. I might get it wrong, but I'll check it. I'll put it on the link if I'm wrong. But yeah, he went on there and he told his story about his life. Man, that guy he's been through a tough life, you know. And when I listened to his story and the things that he shared about it, like, man, I was like, bro, this is like, I can relate to certain things that he's talking about.
Yeah,
and like,
that's it.
I mean, I can never experience some of the things that he's gone through,
Nah,
but like,
but you're learning.
You're learning, man.
Yeah.
And like, bro, the strength in that struggle, bro,
Hard.
just listening to his voice and like explaining about it
Yeah.
and pushing you, man. Like, hey, look, you know, bro, fucking life sucks, man. That's what
Yeah.
it says, bro. Life sucks, man. And like,
Just
it's
fuck
hard.
up
It's
and
fucking
go.
hard.
Yeah.
But you can't give up, you know.
Nah.
And like, when you hear someone who's been through that, and you can hear it from their voice, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
you
like,
even feel it. You're like,
bro,
true. It does
you feel it.
suck.
You feel it through your skin. Eh? You're
Yeah,
like,
man,
man, your
straight
hair
up.
start going up, and you're like, man,
Yeah.
it's insane. You know. So definitely, we'll look forward to that audiobook. And yeah, when it does come out.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I will try to read as much as I can. From
Yeah, brother. Yeah, I mean, you've got it now, so.
yeah. One of the other questions I want to ask, like, besides David being a sort of a
Mental.
coach for
Yeah,
you,
100%.
sort of someone who kind of gave you that, were there any other people who you learned a lot from, or you looked up to, or
Fuck, that's a good question, bro. Yeah,
you
heaps
kind
of
of didn't see
people.
that one coming? Eh?
Yeah, no, I didn't see that, but like, like, so I'd say my parents, bro, 100%. Like my mum and my dad, both of them are hard workers, and my old man showed me what hard work can get. You know, he's just my whole life he's just worked hard, and I appreciate that because of him and my mum. I've got that work ethic, you know, like that's my strength is working. So I was never the fastest, never the strongest, never the most talented, but I can work. And still to this day, that's my strongest attribute, and that's all I do is work, you know, like, so yeah, definitely my parents, bro, I'd say we're big role models. And just throughout life, bro, you know, like I look up to certain people, or like, I take the good, you know, what I like about what certain people do, and then I'll leave what the rest is, you know, like it's not bad, but just won't work for me. So I'm just forever upskilling and upgrading, bro, and just trying to make myself better, because the way I see it is when I learn something, I like to share it. I like to understand it. So I'll learn it, I'll understand it, see how it works for me, and then I share it with others. And then I like watching that. Like, I like watching that. So like they, I guess, become a role model, you know, like, cool, like he's actually listening, she's actually listening. Whoa, look at how far you've come, how fast you've done it. Like, you know, just shit like that, bro. I get a kick out of it, bro.
Definitely. So with the coaching that you're doing, do you only work with fighters or?
Nah, man. All walks of life, brother.
Wow.
Yeah. Jump on my website if you want. You see some testimonials, like random
We'll
ones.
put up the link for the website for those who are interested as well. So
fivecoaching.com.
there's no limits to who you're willing to help. You can help anybody.
Yes. And there's people that I don't want to work with. You know, like, I don't want people that'll just be like, yo, just do your thing. You know, like, nah, fuck up. You need to do your thing. Like, I work with driven people. Like,
people who want to change and who want to achieve.
Yeah, because you can hear it, like, when someone's like, nah, like, this is what I want. Okay, cool. So what are you willing to do? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to win? You know, and that's
that one's a very powerful one.
Yeah, bro. Well, my 5 pillars, bro. The first one is know your outcome. Know your outcome. Once you know your outcome, you've got something to work towards. Next one's the perceptions projection. Pretty much, if you can see it in your mind, you can be it. Third one is time and energy. So once you've got the outcome and you can see it, you can be it. What are you doing with your time and energy? Are you putting in your time and your energy into achieving that, or are you fucking around? You know, like, what are you doing with it? Because that is one of my favorite ones. That's your, like, action. This is you. Like, are you fucking around 2 hours a night doing nothing on social media, where you could be training, where you could be researching, where you could be doing whatever to get to that outcome? You know, so that's where a lot of bullshit gets thrown out. And then number 4 is consistently pursuing excellence. So what that means is, like, doing the best that you can with what you have at that time. So that's just intent. Doing things with purpose and intent. Like, when you look at it as a fighter, you can see a fighter that punches with an intent or kicks with intent, because you see it. You know, you read the body. You can see the body doing it with intent, compared to just a rangefinder or, you know, whatever, just, okay, throw a kick. You know, there's nothing on it. There's no intention behind that. Where you start operating from intention, you know, and excellence, throwing it with excellence, you start seeing some difference. And then the last one's keeping it 100. That's already a phrase, you know, so I just use that phrase as a play on words, bro. And what I mean is giving it 100% effort, putting in 100% effort, because only you know if you're giving it 100. So you ask yourself, am I giving it 100%? Oh, well, this is about a 70. That's all good, but you have to be ready for the 70% outcome. Like, if you put 100 in, you'll get 100 back. You might even get more. But also, it's 100%, like, keeping it 100 with yourself. Like, if something goes wrong, gratitude, or, you know, like, ownership. Like, take ownership for everything. When something goes wrong, find a way to make it your fault, and you'll find a solution. Even if it wasn't your fault, you know, find a way to make it your fault. You'll find a solution for it. And then gratitude, bro. When you start working from a space of gratitude, life is different, bro. You know, life is different. You start seeing life in a different angle. And yeah, so that's that. And keeping it 100 and time and energy are my favorite pillars, bro. Those are my 2 favorites.
Yeah, those are very powerful.
Very powerful. And so the reason I did 5 pillars instead of 4 is there's heaps of things out there in regards to mental well-being and mental health that have 4 pillars. And those systems are amazing. But when you take away one pillar, the whole system falls down. So the way I see it is, if I've got 5 pillars, so if you were to look at this table, there's 4 legs. If there was a leg in the middle, you could take away the 4 pillars on the outside and there's still a pillar in the middle, you know? So it doesn't matter. Each pillar is powerful by itself, but when you're operating out of all 5, 0 regrets.
Wow.
0 regrets, bro. 5-0
That's
coaching.
crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anyway, we'll come to the section now.
Yeah,
Wise words from the wise man.
Let's go.
So, what would your words of advice, or just what would you want to say to people who are watching, listening?
Dig your own trenches. So people talk about getting into the trenches and whatnot. Dig your own trenches. So put your head down and fucking work. You know, you can wish upon a star and all that stuff, and that's all good, but that doesn't mean shit if you're not taking action. So that's what I mean by that, you know, like take action and do everything you can, just a little bit every day to work towards that outcome. Yeah.
That's insane. Crazy, man. Anyway, could you share with us a little bit about like some of the things in the works, your future plans, and like what are
brother.
you working towards?
Fuck, I'm working to
A few things.
I got a few things going at the moment, brother. Yeah, so the book's out there at the moment. And what I'd like to do is next year, we're gonna what we're aiming to do is launch like a mental health sort of campaign. We're gonna launch a mental health campaign next year, February 1st. We're gonna launch it, and we're gonna relate it back to like domestic violence, bullying, suicide awareness, like everything, mental health. We're gonna link it back to combat sport, you know, because it's all good. You know, like growing up, you get told, you know, like hey, tell the teacher or whatever, you know, like tell someone, call the police, and that doesn't always work. So with me, bro, fighting saved my life. In a way, you know, it did save my life. So it's having those tools, you know, like and shining a new light on combat sport, because it's still very young here in New Zealand. And yeah, that's one of the plans, is to launch a campaign, run it nationwide, and then possibly putting on like a massive novice show, bro, like October the 9th, TSB Arena, I don't know, something like that.
Oh, wow. That's
15,000 people, I don't know, something like that, bro.
That's something definitely to work towards.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, man.
October 9th, maybe.
Woo.
Yeah, 2021.
Looking forward to that, man.
Yeah,
you gotta have big goals, and
yeah, man. Bro,
put it. You gotta
that's
work.
one. That's one.
Yeah.
I've got another one. I want to buy 100 acres of land, set up 5 different huts, which represent the 5 pillars. Bring people to that land, and you know, go for a walk in the bush, stay at each hut.
So it's like a retreat
Yeah,
kind
man,
of.
100. Also have a training facility there, so if fighters wanted to go into the bush away from any sort of distractions,
and work on all these things as well.
Bro. Yeah, fight camp.
Wow,
yeah.
that's pretty crazy. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Man, I'm definitely looking forward to those stuff now.
Yeah, that's just a couple of things, bro. Yeah, there's heaps that I'm working on at the moment.
Oh, awesome! That's so cool. Anyway, we've been doing it for a while. I don't wanna drag your time, because you got to be somewhere. Just before we go, do you want to give any shout outs to anyone?
Yeah. So shout out to Sharpen Recovery. If you want one of these bottles here, sharpenrecovery.com. Use the discount code 5020.
Yeah.
So the word 50 and the number 20 for a 20% discount. They got all the recovery guns and all that stuff. So they got all that.
Massage guns.
Yes, brother. Yeah, how good,
really
man.
cool.
Yeah, shout out to Cartel Clothing, man. They've helped me out heaps. So yeah, I think it's cartelclothing.co.nz. Use the discount code 50. 15% discount. Massive shout out to my wife, bro. Straight up, bro.
That's definitely the most important shout out.
100. Like, I should have said that first, bro. Fuck. Uppercut myself, hey. Wow.
You want me to cut this?
Yeah, yes, please. No, just leave it as it is. But straight up, love you, babe.
The biggest impact, we leave it for last.
Yeah, bro, hard, you know, like without her, bro, just being there, like I couldn't be doing what I'm doing, and she just believes in me, bro, you know. So yeah, massive shout out.
I think that's the biggest one, when you have someone close to you who's your biggest supporter, your biggest motivator. As much as we're strong, mentally strong or physically strong, like if you don't have the right people around you, it's not gonna be the same.
She keeps me grounded, bro. Like, so when I meet people and whatnot, like they, like I'm a big, like this is my energy, you know. I like, this is where I operate from, and like I'll come back buzzing, and I'll be like telling her, I was like, babe, this and that, and she's like, what's so fucking special about you? You know, like just boom, hey, bring me right back down. Oh yeah, shit, nah, nothing. Fuck you. Yeah, but nah, she keeps me honest.
Checks
bro.
you,
yeah, bro. Yeah, fucking, she checks me, man. She keeps me honest.
Thank you to Mrs. Curtis for Mrs. Weeks, for you know, keeping him in check. Anyway, brother.
My bro, thank you.
I appreciate your time today, and we'll definitely be doing another one in the future.
100%.
All right, that's us, guys. See you on the next one.
Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and see you on the next one.